Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, Brian, let's see what we have here. Maximum sustained winds are at 110 miles per hour, pressure 959 millibars, and that movement is now toward the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Earlier it was 5, so we're making progress here.
You're heading in the right direction. And this is the track. Now, in real life, it's not jerky like that. It's because the National Hurricane Center, when they report a location, they kind of round it off to the nearest tenth of a degree. So kind of jogs around when it's not moving quickly. But anyway, so don't look at that and think that that means anything. It's heading to the northwest, more or less parallel to the Florida coast. The question is whether it's going to expand over and bring the hurricane force winds to the Florida coast, or they'll only be just offshore. It's going to be a very close call.
And they are under a hurricane warning up that way
Right.
because of that.
And we'll take a look at that in a second. Here's the water vapor. And I think, Betty, you can see the moisture kind of rounding out,
Yeah,
right?
you can. You can see the structure changing again.
Right. So it was kind of flat on this side, and now the moisture is pulling out. So that would tend to support stronger bands on this side by the coast.
Exactly.
And the question is whether they come right over the coast or not.
We are already seeing a few, though. There's one rotating down toward West Palm Beach County right now. And then the stronger ones you talked about, we'll have to see.
That's going to be a close call. I mean, certainly Cape Canaveral sticks out there. This is where very strong winds in here, the strongest, are over right around the eye. But in these bands that are enhanced like that, they're very strong. And will this rotate over the coast? Boy, is it going to be close. Here's the wind in South Florida right now.
And they've been gusting out there, even around 40 at times in some spots. But right now, what we see around Broward County, Pompano Beach, that was one I was looking at because earlier it was 40. Looks like a almost west-southwest around 30. And then West Palm Beach, more than 30 mile per hour gusts there.
So the storm is lifting away. Now the winds are coming off the land here. So they're finally dying down. And look at Settlement Point. It's finally down below 60.
Yeah.
Still blowing there, but that's certainly a good sign that it's moving away. Here we are with Freeport right there. There's the eye up there, so they're not getting the worst of it. Settlement Point was right there. So it looks like even the second band is now missing them. So by tomorrow, this will have lifted far enough north that they can really, but that's another night. Imagine another night in the water. So many homes there in the water. Here was the list, Betty. We were looking at this earlier. Dorian comes in #1 for slowest moving hurricanes, Category 3 and above, going all the way back to 1851.
Oh.
So if it seemed weird, it was weird. Yeah. But here's another Bahamas hurricane that was slow, and here's another Bahamas hurricane that was slow. So it happens. I mean, I didn't even realize that. I had to look all this up. It really happens in the Bahamas. And I have one more for you. Look at this. This is the Great Abaco hurricane of 1932. It moved right by Marsh Harbor's over here, but Green Turtle Cay was essentially destroyed by that. It was a Category 5, 160 mile an hour winds, and guess what? Slow. Not super slow, not ridiculously crawling 1 mile an hour slow, but slow. So there's evidently a kind of propensity in that part of the ocean for that. Okay, tropical storm force winds.
So let's talk about it. We've shown this a lot, of course, so you're probably familiar with it by now, but the yellow color indicates the edge of the tropical storm force winds, and you can see how that edge come 6 p.m. is still around
Yeah, but
Palm
look,
Beach
they've
County.
taken, it looks like they've taken the warning.
Yeah,
down.
that's gone.
So we still have it pointing there, but the warning appears to be alleviated as of 5 o'clock.
Right,
Okay.
and then we lift it out, we go through time, and the winds, the energy translates northward, basically.
Right. And the hurricane warning here, so be ready for winds over 75 miles per hour in the red is what they're saying there. And then look up here how close the hurricane winds are here north of Daytona, up Palm Coast, up toward St. Augustine and Jacksonville Beach.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge, right. And in the St. Johns River at Jacksonville comes in and goes south. And the water, if you remember Hurricane Matthew, there was a huge storm surge up there. So you're seeing that from Jacksonville Beach there, already the water is high. Well, the St. Johns River opens up. The thing is, the St. Johns flows north, and then the hurricane pushes the water back in from the ocean, and it all backs up in there. So they've got storm surge alerts for Palatka, which is way down the river and way inland, and even farther down there. So that's just a phenomenon with hurricanes in Jacksonville. Hurricane Matthew in 2016 flooded downtown Jacksonville and kind of tourist spots or eateries and whatnot along the St. Johns River in the Jacksonville area. So we'll no doubt they're on the alert for that, and we'll be watching out for that coming up.